Functions of amygdala. Good morning, all. My name is Irene Rowley from Second DC Psychology. The topic of my presentation is the functions of amygdala. Now, before I start, I should probably explain that what is amygdala. This is only just to give you some background information about what it is. Uh, Amygdala is an almond-shaped set of neurons located deep in the brain's medial temporal lobe. There are two amygdalae per person, forms part of the limbic system, a complex set of nerves and networks in the brain concentrated with instinct and mood. It controls the basic emotions such as fear, pleasure, and anger, and drives the desire of hunger, sex, dominance, and care of an offspring. In this picture, what explains that what an amygdala is in detail through a picture. Here it places it in the brain nearby the hippocampus and beneath the thalamus, and that's our amygdala, and a person has two amygdala, and this red colored thing, that's our amygdala. Next one. The amygdala is related to a wide range of disorders, including borderline personality disorder, depression, and autism. A damaged amygdala results in the inability to read emotions in others and a type of social blindness. And the term social blindness means such person doesn't pay much attention to the actions and reactions of other person, simply saying unaware of the feeling and intention of others. What are its general functions? The amygdala is involved in the processing of emotions such as fear, anger, and pleasure. The amygdala is also responsible for determining what emotions are stored and where emotions are stored in brain. The amygdala is involved in several functions of the body, including arousal, autonomic responses associated with fear, emotional responses, hormonal secretions, memory. Arousal means it's a physiological state of alertness and anticipation, which prepares the body for action. Simply saying, just to stir up or excite the emotion. These are the key points of functions of amygdala: arousal, autonomic responses associated with fear, emotional responses, hormonal secretions, and memory. Where is it located? The amygdala is located deep within the frontal lobe along the hippocampus and adjacent to the hypothalamus. It belongs to the limbic system. Limbic system means it's a part of brain that deals with emotions. And look into this picture. Here the yellow colored bowl like thing, that's our amygdala, and this blue colored region, that's our hippocampus, and the green one is our thalamus. So the amygdala is located nearby hippocampus beneath the thalamus, and the location of the amygdala is crystal clear from this image. And what are its functions? It is responsible for behaviors and emotions related to survival, significant for memory, involved in autonomic responses associated with fear and hormonal secretions, fight to flight responses, controls the following functions such as automatic or autonomic responses associated with fear, emotional responses, hormonal secretion that we discussed earlier, right? Functions of amygdala plays a key role in detecting fear and preparation for emergency events, in addition to controlling aggression. Aggression means is a feeling of anger, and it helps to memorize of events and emotions in order to recognize similar events in future. For example, if once you got bit by a snake, the amygdala would help altering this incident when you see another snake, which cause you fear for snake. It plays another role in sexual activity and libido. Libido means it's a sex drive, and it changes in a size based on age, hormonal activity, and gender on an individual. For example, males who have low levels of testosterone or may have their testicles removed, the condition that we call transgender, tend to have a smaller amygdala, and as a result could have a lower sex drive. And the libido means it's means that the amygdala, it means that, simply saying, the amygdala also coordinate the sex drive of individuals. The main function of amygdala is whenever our body sense a change in our surrounding that could be harmful, the amygdala is responsible for preparing the body either to fight or flight. This part of our body is known as the stratal circuit of the brain, which controls our response to being startled. Our responses involves the activation of the sympathetic division of the peripheral nervous system, which result in accelerated heart rate, dilated pupil, and increased in blood flow. The amygdala is only able to process sensory information and initiate behavior responses before the information reaches awareness in the center of the brain. It derives the sensory information from two separate pathways, short route and long route. In short route, when the message is first sent to the thalamus, then directly to the amygdala. And here, in short route, the message is directly sending to the thalamus, then to amygdala. That's why the route is so short. That's why it's called as or known as fast reaction. In long route, when the messages travel from the cortex where it is evaluated, then sent to the thalamus, then the amygdala. That's why it's called as slow reaction, because the message it's sending from the message words evaluated in the brain cortex, then to thalamus, then to amygdala. That's why the route is so long. That's why it's known as a slow reaction. The amygdala is also get input from the medial prefrontal cortex, which is involved in the planning phase of the response after the initial reflexive reaction, when you have to choose the best course of the action to get you out of danger. While the amygdala is fully developed at the birth, the prefrontal cortex does not mature until early adulthood. Because of this, children and adolescents do not always make rational decisions and cannot always control their emotions. Okay, next we are gonna discuss about how it's like a brain without amygdala. It's said that a brain without amygdala could still sense panic and fear, as the other region provide input to the amygdala. Therefore, it's not a center of fear. However, a case study published by Neuroscience News on December 17th in 2010 states that a woman sent messages with bilateral damage to the amygdala seems to be able to experience emotions such as happiness and sadness normally, but shows no signs of fear. It means that that lady had or that lady or a lady with damaged amygdala can experiences the emotions such as happiness and sadness normally, but she can't experience that fear feeling because of that damages to amygdala. What happens when it damages? Aggression, fearlessness, shock term or long term memory issues, depth and distant perception problem, dysfunctional amygdala are also linked to but not caused by autism, and schizophrenia and anxiety. Next one is Kuer-Brusey syndrome. It is a behavioral disorder that occurs when both the right and left medial temporal lobes of the brain do not function. The amygdala has been partially implicated brain region in cause of the syndrome. When our medial temporal lobes got damaged, the amygdala is also goes affect, because amygdala is also part of our medial temporal lobe. That's why it's also good affecting. What are the symptoms of this diseases are lower fear responses or reacting with unusual low aggression, dietary changes and eating of inappropriate object, hypersexuality, inability to recognize familiar object of or people. So that's all about our topic, and let me summarize what we said today. We discussed what is amygdala and where it is located, its major functions, and how it is a brain without amygdala. What happens when it damaged? That's all about today. So I'm conclude by saying thank you.